I think it really began when Bill called me and told me he had purchased a lot in Walnut Hill, and his immediate question, was what should we build? My first thought was let's bring in Peter Frazier from 37 Ideas. He and I had worked together on a few other things, and I thought he would be a perfect person to bring maybe a slightly different take to this pastoral kind of classic setting. But figuring out what we want to do, it was a hard question, but it was an important conversation that we needed to have because there really are a lot of options anytime you have such a blank slate.
So I think that there's this mystery about what designers and architects do. I think there's mystery about what contractors do, and there's mystery about what agents do. And I think this is an opportunity for us to sort of begin that conversation by drawing back the curtain and saying, here's the process. Here's a snapshot into how we do what we do.
We didn't have to spend a great deal of time discussing the elements of the home that were required. It was more of a discussion about the aesthetic and the balance and the allocation of the space. But that said, when the concept of this American farmhouse was brought up, I think that there was this immediate agreement amongst all of us about this direction. And it really allowed Peter to move forward in his designs with a great deal of certainty.
So I took the opportunity to drive out to the site, and I think that's imperative in any project like this because you just have to stand there and sort of, turn in 360 degrees and understand the topography and the tree lines and what are the views and vistas. And then you come back to the studio and you look at it on a sheet of paper, and there are sight lines and orientations that the building presents itself with that when you're standing on the site have been confirmed or reinforced. And in this particular site, the topography is really wonderful. It rolls nicely downhill, so the house sets itself up. You're coming in on high, it opens wide, there's a tree line, and I think in this case, the way we've shaped the house and the views and the vistas we're trying to capture will work really nicely.
I get approached a lot by clients that, have seen something in a magazine or have seen a home when they visited a friend in another area. And it's exciting to be able to talk to them about really developing a product for their lifestyle, for their needs, for their desires, in a part of town that's still very highly desirable, but allows for the flexibility to deliver what they want versus, what I'm sometimes forced to deliver within the suburban environment. So right now it's a challenge that I'm very excited about to be that custom builder, that builder who can really adapt to what his owners want in a world that has become increasingly more volume-oriented.
Given a program, number of bedrooms, and a certain sort of profile for the living, dining, and kitchen spaces, I think that then where the magic can happen is in those moments between those spaces, and how does the kitchen, which 98% of the time is the heart of the house and where most congregate, but how does that begin to participate and dovetail into the living space, and how does that begin to move into a dining room? And those are actually highly individual pursuits, but I think that the opportunity there is to really pay attention to the definition of those spaces and how they can contribute to one another and how hard or softly the lines are between them. It's a conversation, it's debate and deliberation, it's a back and forth between a client and a builder and a design professional about the highest and best use of the resources we have available, real estate, money, time, and how do we deploy those effectively. And I should think that shouldn't be a mystery. It should be something that is more of an invitation to participate rather than smoke and mirrors.
The biggest challenge, as it is in most cases, is marrying up the correct design with the lot and the client's budget. And I think if you have the builder and the client and the architect all involved in that from the very first step, there's the best opportunity to deliver to the client exactly what they're looking for within budget.
I think that's true. We're really looking forward to the process of taking someone's ideas and getting them from inside their head to paper and eventually into sticks and bricks. I think that's one of the most exciting parts about building. And from where I sit, as an agent, knowing that we have a talented and an experienced team that can work with the clients, it's incredibly powerful.